Welcome to Dark Corner's Horror Smackdown Round 2. In this round, we're taking a closer look at the bad guys, but we still want you voting for the best or your favourite film overall. Match 41, Faust versus Nosferatu. People often say that silent film is incapable of telling complex stories. F.W. Murnau's extraordinary Faust puts pay to that notion with one of cinema's most morally complex tales. On the face of it, the bad guy is clearly Emil Janning's Mephistopheles, who gives the film its most enduring image and its most chilling scene. The summoning is an impressive demonstration of 1920s technical effects. But its climax is simpler and more effective, as this now very ordinary looking Mephistopheles simply raises his hat. As Faust runs, Mephistopheles turns to look at us. And wherever Faust goes, Mephistopheles is there. Even in his home. Never in film history has a raised hat been so chilling. Janning's performance is a tour de force. His venal creation is more than demonic evil. Mephistopheles is smug, wheedling, directing Faust like a puppeteer. He is also, surprisingly, fun. But this light-hearted take on the character never detracts from what he is. In one memorable scene, he is stabbed by a prince, then reappears, pulls the sword from his own corpse and uses it to kill the prince. He is manifestly evil and loves every second. But to concentrate on Mephistopheles is only to scratch at the surface of Faust's layers of morality. Faust signs away his soul so he can help the plague victims of his town. But then, and the people turn on him. Now Faust turns to the devil, lured by the promise of youth. And sex. He forces entry to a girl's bedroom. And the lovers are caught in the act, leading to the death of the girl's mother and brother. But do the townspeople have pity on the girl and her bastard child caught out in the snow? Looming above this is the knowledge that all this is part of a bet between Mephistopheles and St. Michael. How many have to die so God can prove a point? But the stake in the bet is the fate of humanity, and humanity has failed at every turn. Few films have successfully addressed such huge subjects with such subtlety and brilliance. Faust is a masterpiece. Made in 1921, Nosferatu can claim to be one of the most influential horror films ever made, and yet its vampire still stands apart from others. Because of when and where it was made, Nosferatu is usually called an expressionist film, and yet when you compare its naturalistic performances and real locations with a true expressionist film like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, it's hard to see why. But Max Schreck's Count Orlok is defiantly expressionist. His movements are exaggerated and deliberate. There is nothing natural about him. Director F.W. Murnau uses an expressionist character in a non-expressionist film to heighten Orlok's inhumanity. When we first see him, he is a strange figure, emerging from the shadows, hunched and ugly. But then he reveals his true nature. Schreck's Orlok is not dashing like Lugosi or Lee. He is not a romantic hero like Oldman. He is a monster. with impossible powers. Murnau uses comparisons from nature to further alienate the vampire from humans. And although heroine Ellen is drawn to him, it is only as a helpless victim. Murnau makes his whole film a slowly building reveal of Orlok's monstrous nature. While most vampire films rush to the kill shot, Nosferatu's 4 attack scenes are spread throughout the film, each new, each different, each building on the last. When he attacks Hutter in his room, we see nothing but the monster's shadow. On the boat, he fades into existence before the eyes of a doomed sailor, before going out to hunt his next victim, stalking him like an animal. So when the final attack comes, we know what he can do. The stalk, the shadow, and finally we see the monster feed. The whole film has built to this one moment. Nosferatu is a masterclass in the structure of horror. Let us know your thoughts on these bad guys, and don't forget to vote on the horror film you want to see move into the next round.